You ever have one of those days? You're just staring at a mountain of work, or hey, even just a pile of dishes, and you feel completely, totally unable to start. You might call yourself lazy, but what if that's not the real story? Well, it turns out psychology has a fascinating and, honestly, a much more compassionate answer.
It's that feeling, you know? The day is full of potential, but your mind and body just kind of say nope. And you end up on the couch scrolling, and this wave of frustration with yourself just starts to build and build.
And look, it might not even be some big project. Sometimes just loading the dishwasher can feel like you're trying to climb Mount Everest. And that's when that little inner voice kicks in, right? Just get up. Come on, why are you being so lazy? But here's the thing. That profound lack of get up and go, it isn't necessarily a choice you're making or some kind of character flaw. Psychology suggests we should see it as a critical signal from our brain that something much deeper is going on.
So, let's explore a really powerful way to reframe this whole experience, one that shifts us away from that self-criticism and into some genuine understanding. What if that feeling you've been labeling laziness for years is actually something else entirely? I mean, what if it's a predictable biological response to the crazy world we live in?
And here it is. The term is motivational exhaustion. This is a total game changer. It's not that you don't want to do things, it's that the part of your brain responsible for drive is literally running on empty, and this happens after it's been overworked by long-term stress. So how exactly does this happen? How does this play out inside your brain? Because it's not just a feeling, it's a real physiological process that gets triggered by stress.
Okay, a great way to think about this is to imagine your cognitive energy is like your phone battery. Every stressful meeting, every little worry, every demand on your attention, it all drains that battery. And eventually, you're left with like 1% power. And your brain does exactly what your phone does. It shifts into low power mode.
It's a simple but pretty brutal chain reaction. It all starts with that chronic, ongoing stress, which just consistently drains your cognitive energy reserves. And the result? Motivational exhaustion. You're not lazy, your engine is simply out of fuel.
And this right here explains everything. This is why those tiny little tasks, like the dishes, suddenly feel so monumental. When your cognitive energy is totally depleted, your brain's ability to initiate any task, big or small, is severely compromised. It's trying to run a marathon on fumes.
Okay, so this is the big question. How can you actually tell the difference in the moment? Well, there is one incredibly powerful emotional clue that separates burnout from what we might call true laziness. Here it is. This is the crucial difference. Someone who is just feeling unmotivated or lazy often feels, well, unbothered by it. They're pretty okay with avoiding the effort. But a person who's experiencing burnout, they feel intense guilt about their lack of productivity. They are deeply, deeply distressed by it. That guilt is the key. It's actually proof that you do care. It's a symptom of chronic self-pressure and having high standards for yourself. You feel bad because you desperately want to be productive, but your brain and body simply don't have the resources to follow through. It's a sign you care too much, not too little. So, let's wrap this all up. It's really time to drop that lazy label and embrace a more accurate and, frankly, a much more helpful diagnosis for what's going on. Okay, so here's what you really need to remember. First, what you're feeling is likely motivational exhaustion. It's a biological state, not a moral failing. Second, your brain's energy is not infinite. You have to treat it like the precious resource it is. And finally, use guilt as your diagnostic tool. If you feel bad about resting, that's a huge, flashing red light for burnout.
And all this leaves us with one final and really crucial question. Now that you know this isn't about willpower, but it's about energy, how does that change your approach? The next time you feel this way, instead of criticizing yourself, what is one small thing you can do to truly recharge your battery?